Polearms in GURPS are very interesting weapons that are deadly but not very straightforward to use. First, polearm is an average difficulty skill, like most melee weapons. If you look at the table in GURPS low tech, you'll see that this is a huge weapon group. Most of the polearms appear at tier 3, with only one specimen at each tier before 3. Generally speaking, all of them have great damage, both in terms of numbers and damage type versatility, good reach, decent price, moderate to high strength requirement, and require 2 hands. Some of them are unbalanced and some even become unready after attacking. The OR is the only TL0 option and is just a large oar used as a makeshift polearm. None of the characteristics are particularly good, but at TL0 beggars cannot be choosers. Weight of 8 pounds makes the oar able to break many weapons on a parry. The glaive appears on TL1. It deals swinging, cutting, or thrusting impaling attacks, and has long reach. However, even thrusting attacks are unbalanced, and swings make it unready. The text says that glaives were often equipped with a hilt and or a hook. The naginata appears on TL2. It is shorter than the glaive, swinging attacks deal less damage, but thrusting attacks are not unbalanced, and swinging attacks do not make it unready. Strength requirement is only 9. This weapon has a special feature. It can be wielded with a two-handed sword skill. You can also draw it quickly with fast draw two-handed sword. You cannot do that with any other polearm. The bill is a bladed polearm with a hook on the back. Usually, this hook was used to unseat mounted knights. It can thrust and swing, is very long, but is unbalanced and becomes unready after attacking. The hook is sharpened, so it also deals some damage, and when used to disarm, it doesn't take a -2 penalty to the attack roll. The dueling bill is a shortened variant that has worse reach, but does not become unready and is not unbalanced on thrusting attacks. On TL3, people learned that you can shorten the shaft of the glaive, and so the dueling glaive appears. Took them long enough. It is shorter and more balanced version of the normal glaive. It can also serve as a musket rest. Halberd is one of the heaviest polearms, 12 pounds. This means that it can break even such weapons as long swords on a parry. It deals a disgusting swing plus 5 cutting damage with the blade, a disgusting swing plus 4 impaling damage with the back spike, and good thrust plus 3 impaling damage with the axial spike. You should keep in mind that the swinging attacks make the weapon unready, and swinging impaling attacks can get stuck. The shorter and lighter dueling halberd is a very good two-handed weapon that does not become unready. The horse cutter comes in 2 versions, heavy and light, but both of them are unbalanced even on thrusting attacks and become unready after a swing. Heavy horse cutter is the only weapon as heavy as the halberd. Swing plus 5 hurts a lot. The ladjetang is a stylish weapon that deals cutting damage on both swings and thrusts, and isn't very long. If you are cross-checking 2 enemies at once, you can use it to deal cutting damage to both. Other than that, there's nothing special here. The monk's spade is a short polearm with 2 blades. It can be swung for cutting or crushing damage, or can deliver thrusting, cutting attacks. Damage is worse compared to many other polearms, but it is stylish. The pole axe is a large axe head on a long pole, backed by a hammerhead. It has long reach, high cutting and crushing damage, but becomes unready on any attack. This is one of the few polearms that does not have a thrusting attack. The pole axe, not to be confused with the pole axe, is a dueling polearm with an axe or hammerhead, a beaked pin, a top spike, a spiked butt, and a metal reinforced shaft. The book says that this weapon is optimized for the defensive grip. The weapon on the table has a hammerhead. If equipped with an axe head instead, it's identical to the dueling halberd. I believe that the Urga listed under the Sodegarami entry should be used with a polearm skill as well. In terms of customization, polearms probably have the most options. GURPS Fantasy Tech 2 has double-ended polearms if you're interested in such weapons. The same book has rules for making full metal polearms instead of the normal ones with a wooden shaft. GURPS Tech Companion 2 has many other options. Longer handles, shorter handles, axe heads, barbs, butt spikes, hammer heads, kusaris, pick heads, prongs, sickle heads, spear heads of various sizes, trident heads, hilts. This book basically lets you design your own polearm with any combinations of heads, blades, or spikes. So how does one utilize a polearm properly? The first problem is that you have both hands occupied, so you cannot use a shield normally. However, you can still use a shield on a gauge. The polearm's long reach helps you keep the foes at bay, if you play your cards right. You probably noticed that many of the polearms are not on balance when they are used to deliver thrusting attacks. You can exploit this by using a tip slash to deliver cutting thrusting attacks. If your weapon is unbalanced on swing attacks but does not become unready, then defensive attacks become a very good option for you. In any case, it's better to save swings for fallen or disarmed foes. When fighting one-on-one, you also should keep defensive grip in mind, as it will make you better in defense, especially when coupled with defensive attacks. If you want to switch between grips quickly, get the Grip Mastery perk. Changing reach always requires a ready maneuver, so you might want to get the Reach Mastery perk. You can also use any short polearm as a staff, so you might want to buy the Form Mastery perk. Polearms can also improve your jumping ability in cinematic games. Take the Combat Vaulting perk for that. If your polearm has a spearhead, then you can use it to defend against charging enemies by using stop thrusts or planting the spear against the ground. If you have a long polearm that has reach 3 or higher, you can wield it cooperatively with an ally by taking the 2-man pike training perk. I talked more about these applications in my video about spears. If you are fighting with a polearm, the following techniques might be useful for you: armed grapple, disarming, hook, and sweep. Just like spears and staffs, polearms can be used to shove or slam two adjacent opponents at the same time, take reduced penalties for multiple parries per turn, and can be used to block both halves of a dual weapon attack with a single parry. And that's it. As you can see, polearms are the most customizable weapons in GURPS, and they are very versatile. An experienced player can get a lot out of a polearm, but it might seem underwhelming to a new player. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.